Konnichiwa. It is time for a morning story. So sit down and be silent as I read you a morning story. Once upon a time there was a dull young baker. He started his afternoon morning with a slice of whole grain rye toast and a locally roasted Americano coffee. This was a good morning, he thought. After breakfast was accomplished, the dull baker then proceeded to grasp hold of what is known by the Homo sapiens as a sifter. With his heroic cup, the baker rescued 1 cup of never bleached all-purpose flour from the clutches of the evil flour packet and placed it into the now self-absorbed sifter. The dull baker then realized he needed to add a teaspoon of the white crystalline powder known as baking soda. Yes. After which the dull baker beat the defenseless sifter with his brute dainty hand as carefully as possible. After the rewarding task was completed, the dull baker then proceeded to lay hold of an overweight, unoccupied glass bowl for his next daunting task. Yes. With his dainty muscular fingertips, the dull baker extracted 4 large, organic free-running chicken eggs from their cardboard prison. After which he then began cracking the defenseless white-shelled chicken eggs one after another until he had 4 in his once unoccupied overweight glass vessel. Now for the deceitful sugar, he thought. He began sprinkling 1 cup of the deceitful sweet white soluble carbohydrate known as sugar by the Homo sapiens on top of his 4 forsaken chicken eggs. Yes. With a firm grip, he seized his mighty hand egg beater and began to beat the forsaken organic chicken eggs and deceitful white sugar. After beating the now aggravated sweet yolky mixture for some time, the dull baker wanted to add a flavorful dark liquid substance, a teaspoon of the dark liquid substance known as vanilla extract. Yes. He continued to beat the forsaken eggs until they doubled. He beat the forsaken eggs until they tripled or even quadrupled in size. Once the daunting task was achieved, he would then butter a villainous non-stick baking pan with some grass-fed butter from forced labor cows. Yes. Once he had a lovely grass-fed cow butter coating, he then proceeded once again to use the now disgruntled sifter and began sifting the all-purpose flour mixture atop of the now engorged egg mixture. With his favorite, never to be forgotten or left out of the cooking process, his sturdy electric blue spatula, he began to gently mix the flour into the engorged egg mixture. What a fun time, he thought. The dull baker then proceeded to pour his plain yellow batter into the villainous buttered pan, after which he then plunged it into the depths of a 180-degree, eyebrow burning hot oven and baked it for 25 long, boring, dwindling minutes. After waiting 25 boring minutes, the batter, like an unappetizing silkworm, transforming into a repulsive moth, has mutated into a now purposeless, innocent baked cake. Unfortunately, the innocent cake was held hostage by the villainous Pan. So, like an uneducated caveman, the dull baker banged the top of the hot pan in order to free the innocent cake from the clutches of the villainous cake pan. Yes. He then laid the now freed innocent cake atop of some lengthy, sensitive Asian chopsticks in order to let the innocent cake cool. No one wants a soggy cake, the dull baker thought. The cake was baked, now it's time for the next cumbersome task. The immoral chocolate sauce. Yes. Using a strapping young pot, the dull baker placed some liquid H2O along with some sweet, deceitful white sugar and some begrudging brown cocoa powder into his stout young pot. The dull baker gave the seething liquid a mighty stir until the delightful mixture withered away. Time for some grass-fed cow butter from forced labored cows, thought the baker. In went the disfigured butter, now to give it another mighty stir. The immoral chocolate sauce was done and the innocent cake had cooled. It is now time for the final act. The dull baker began to cut the defenseless innocent cake into 3-centimeter blocks with his fearsome chef's knife. The dull baker didn't want any unpopular crusts on his scrumptious innocent cake blocks, so with his trusty fearsome chef's knife he removed the unpopular crusts. Yes. Once again the dull baker laid hold of some unclouded glass bowls and began filling them with straight-faced white coconut shavings and his delicious immoral chocolate sauce. The unclouded glass bowls were filled. The dull baker was now ready to bathe his 3-centimeter scrumptious innocent cake blocks into his delicious immoral tasting chocolate sauce. Yes. He then proceeded to lower the now drenched cake into his straight-faced white coconut shavings and rolled it around. This was a delightful task, he thought. Yes. The baker then served his chaste chocolate coconut cake dessert squares, known as Lamingtons, on a imperfect yet graceful blue plate. The last step was to taste the scrumptious dessert, he thought. The baker gave it a sinful bite and was overwhelmed with satisfaction over his achievement. The end. What a delightful story about a dull baker who knows absolutely nothing about baking. Quite a useless man. Thank you for joining me for a morning story. I will see you next time.